So what's going on, guys? Have you been knocked on your asses this summer and gotten off track on all your goals, all your whatever goals you've set for yourself fitness wise? You're gonna lose weight, or you've lost weight and you're trying to maintain it, you're trying to stay in shape, you're trying to be a little disciplined during the summer months with all the barbecues, beach days, and 4th of July's, and Memorial Days, and Labor Days around the corner. Seems like your kids got a billion birthday parties to go through, weddings, dude, who knows what, right? It's a busy time of year. Everybody's kids are out of school. There's all these activities planned. The weather's nice. There's always stuff going on all summer long. I know that's the case for me. I seem like I've always got a billion things going on. You know, 4th of July was just a week ago, a little over a week ago. So this video is kind of coming out a little late, but I was doing some stuff last week that kept me a little busy, and I wasn't able to record anything. But it's a pretty common occurrence. We're all like, okay, I got these plans. Maybe you prepared for summer, because summer's not the best time to cut, right? Or lose weight. I don't like the idea of cutting and stuff like that. I like the idea of getting your ass in shape and staying there, which is tough. I get it. But, the best time to prepare for that is leading up to summer, not waiting till summer starts to start getting your ass in shape, right? But then you get into it and you kind of want to maintain it. You want to keep that progress. You don't want to go balloon up, get fat again, because it's kind of easy to do. It doesn't come back on as fast as people like to make it seem. It takes years usually to get really fat and out of shape, but I know me, I can put a lot of food down at a good summer barbecue, especially if I'm not paying attention or I'm not being disciplined, or back in my days where I'd let myself get a little inebriated or whatever. But it's common. It happens to the best of us. You get in the summer months and you're like, oh man, I got in really good shape. I'm gonna have all this fun, and then you go out there and people are rolling food out at a birthday party, a wedding, whatever, barbecue, celebration, and next thing you know, you just blew up your diet, right? And there's this psychological thing that happens with us guys. Oh, I screwed up my diet this weekend. I ate all this food. I screwed up royally. Oh man, I ate like 5,000 calories in one day, whatever it is. However, maybe you're on a keto diet and you ate a ton of carbs or some shit. Whatever threw you off track. You drank. I've been trying to go alcohol free for however long. Well, I screwed up. I blew up my diet and I did all this, and now I might as well just go all out and lean into that and just keep it going. And then, one cheat meal turns into a cheat day, turns into a cheat week, turns into the summer's wasted. Now you're off the rails. And I don't understand why we do that. And I'm saying that as a former guilty party, someone who has fallen into that trap before. I've done it myself, I've done the whole thing where, oh man, I was on this like keto or carnivore diet, and I ate a pizza at a brewery, drank beer, pizza. I screwed up. Well, I screwed up that one day. I might as well, screw up again. And it's just weird, and then you spiral out of control. It's the craziest psychological game we play on ourselves. Like, you're already pissed at yourself enough for doing it the first time, but then you turn around and you use it as a justification to just keep it going, right? And whenever I look at that situation in myself and wonder, how did I get here? Why am I doing this? But I'm doing it. I literally used to do that sometimes. And you don't need to. You know what I mean? It's one mistake, one screw up. Look, we're all imperfect, right? We're all human. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to fall off the rails on our diet or our workout program. You know what I mean? Life happens, things get in the way, we get sick or whatever. Stuff happens. You know what I mean? And you got to be able to put that stuff behind you and move on to the next day and just get right back on track. You know, it's I don't know what it's going to take. Is it a psychological reframing or something like that? It shouldn't take anything like that. It should be pretty easy to look at the big picture and look at your goals and understand that one day of screwing up a meal, you know, and eating some things you didn't want to eat, or eating an amount you didn't want to eat, or, you know, drinking a beer when you're trying to put alcohol behind you, or missing a couple workouts or something like that. That's not an excuse to just throw it all your progress in the trash. You know, all the sacrifice and all the time that you've spent working toward this goal, and you're going to piss it all away because you screwed up one day. If you want to look at it like you screwed up. Like, all right, that was fun. This is the way I look at it now. If I mess up, which inevitably I do because I'm human, I'm not one of these people that's going to come on here and say I'm on a strict whatever diet and I'm perfect 100% of the time, all the time, and I am never, ever, ever going to let a carb touch my lips again, or I'm never, ever, ever going to eat above maintenance or whatever again. It's BS. You know what I mean? I'm sure there are people out there who are absolutely religious and dogmatic about the way they eat or their goals and stuff like that, and have just the most insane discipline. I'm sure those guys are out there, but common you and me are not them. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not. I'm the first one. I'll sit here and put it on camera to everybody, however many people end up watching this at this point. Probably not many right now where I'm at in this YouTube journey, but still, it's out there for the taking, man. I'm here to tell you that I screw up on my diet. That I had a 4th of July party I went to last week at a buddy's house, and I ate some good food. You know what I mean? His mom makes a killer 7-layer dip, man. You know, what can you do? It sucks. Luckily, I didn't drink. I had some NA beers because I still enjoy the taste of beer from time to time. And it's completely off my diet. Everything I did was off my diet. But I woke up that morning. I got a good workout in. I fasted. I prepared for it. We all know these things that are coming up. There are impromptu morning text events I get that happen. Hey man, let's go to a barbecue tonight. So-and-so's having a barbecue. All right, we'll be there. But rarely are you doing events that you don't find out like in advance to where you can kind of prepare for them. And that's what I try to do. You know, I fasted all day so that I wouldn't go and just eat an insane amount of calories. When I got to my buddy's house on 4th of July, I ate all my proteins first. You know, I went and all his briskets and ribs and things like that. It was on the table, the deviled eggs and things like that. I ate those first. So I got my proteins in. I got my animal food in. It kind of filled me up in advance before I started, you know, checking out the mac and cheese and the dips and some of the little desserts and things like that. You know, it probably saved me a lot of unneeded, unwanted calories in the end. Now, I still overate. Yeah, 100%. I fasted all day. Probably at least was somewhat in a calorie surplus at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It was kind of a OMAD type situation, but an extended OMAD, right? Where you're kind of picking around at food for a few hours through the duration of a party. You end up putting a lot of food down that way. It's fine. It's okay. It happens once in a while. You know what I mean? There's no reason to wake up the next morning and have a pity party for yourself, which, like I said, I admit I used to do that. I used to go and I'd be deep into some kind of weight loss program or diet or whatever the case may be, and I'd blow it up and I'd have a bad day and I would eat some shit that I didn't want to eat, and next morning wake up feeling sorry for myself, pissed off at myself. Oh, what have I done? And not looking at the big picture and understanding that one bad meal is not going to completely derail everything that you have done over the past weeks. You will bounce back from that so fast. Yeah, you're going to get on the scale and probably be 3 to 4 pounds heavier because of water weight. That's all it is. It's not like it's impossible to go out and have one cheat day and gain 4 pounds of fat. It's not possible. You would have to eat an insane, ungodly amount of food for that to happen. Your body will bounce back from it so fast. Now, what it will not recover from is you saying, well, I screwed up this one time. I might as well turn this one cheat meal or whatever you want to look at it as, or this one day of screwing up into a week or a month or a season, or just abandoning all my whole goal and plan and everything all together. Now, this doesn't just go for your diet, you know what I mean? This is kind of advice and a metaphor for anything. No matter what your goal is. I have a goal of writing every day. I got a lot of different writing projects that I aspire to complete, and I need to write like every day. There are days where I wake up and life kicks me in the face and I don't get a word written down. It is what it is. It happens. Does that mean it's like, well, I didn't write down any of my stuff, my journaling or my book or whatever I'm working on? Oh, I didn't get it down, so I'm just gonna give it up for a week because I messed up one day. No, I'll just wake up and I'll try to write down twice as much the next day, and if I don't, at least I wrote something. It's no big deal. It's a setback. It's a speed bump. Like I said last week, I had every intention of recording some videos and getting them out there, and that's something that I'm trying to be more consistent with. I'm a busy guy. I've got a lot going on. As you can see, I record in my car while I'm driving around in my own time, going from place to place or whatever. And because that's the best time for me to do it. I can sit here and I can still get a video out. I can talk to you guys. And I just didn't have a lot of alone time last week to sit in here and record videos. So it is what it is. Did I let it completely derail me? Did I make it as an excuse to say, well, I guess I screwed up one week, didn't get a video out, I guess this isn't for me? No, of course not. Of course not. If we all gave up the second we hit a speed bump or a minor, call it a failure or whatever, we would have achieved nothing in this world. There's setbacks in look at every major project that's ever been made on this planet. Every person who's accomplished something great, or collective people, there's been mistakes and speed bumps along the way. Things have happened. How many people died building the Panama Canal or the Hoover Dam? They're there. I'm sure their losses of people building the pyramids was great. Guys who they just go and read books or watch documentaries or read about guys who've done like bodybuilding competitions and stuff like that. It's hard, you know what I mean? And those guys are achieving things I had never aspired to achieve from a fitness standpoint. I'm just trying to live a long time and be active into my old age and look decent. You know what I mean? I'm not out here trying to get on a stage and compete and be absolutely fucking peeled and, huge roided out muscles. And I'm not going for any of that. But these guys have, and they've experienced turmoil along the way. They've screwed up. They've made mistakes. And while working with coaches and stuff like that. and yet they still got up there and they did it. You know, they saw the thing through. You know, your favorite sports teams. You know, the guy screws up in a football game or a basketball game or whatever. You know, are they going to just give it up because they made a mistake? No. And that goes the same way with everything you're doing in life, including your diet, which I always use that as an example because I think when it comes to goals, your fitness and your health should come first. You know, that's the foundation. That's where everything starts. And then you can build everything on top of that. So I use it as an example all the time, and the diet thing's a real easy thing. That's the big thing. A lot of people screw up first and foremost and derail it. But use it for anything in life, you know, whatever mistakes you're making. If you make a mistake in your relationship, are you going to go blow your marriage up because you screwed up one time and said something a little mean? No, you make amends for it and you move on. You know, you handle something wrong with parenting, which God knows I have done and we all have done. I have given my kids bad guidance, bad advice, or I was a little too hard on them. You know what I mean? I'm not going to walk out on them because I made one little mistake. You know what I mean? I rectify it, I correct it, I identify the problem, I take accountability for it, and I say, okay, here's how I'm going to approach it next time. And it's the same thing with your diet or anything else. Screwing up at work. You going to quit your job because you made a mistake at work? No, of course you're not. Identify the mistake, take accountability for it, and fix it. If you messed up on your diet because it was a holiday or a wedding or a child's birthday party or something, try to prepare in advance. If you make a mistake, you just identify what happened, you take accountability, you own it, and you move on. And you start from scratch the next day and get right back on the horse. Stop making excuses. Stop feeling woe is me. No pity parties for yourself. No, I can't believe I did that. Forgive yourself for it. But just don't let it happen again. Or don't let it happen very often. Mistakes are unavoidable in anything you do. Building a body, building a business, building a relationship, anything. You are going to fuck this up. It is inevitable. That's a good thing because you're going to learn from it. You have to learn from it and you have to own it and you got to move on. And that's all I got for you guys today. More to come. Hit like, hit subscribe, all that fun stuff. Leave a comment down in the comment section and I'll talk to you guys later.